Guten Tag, ciao, and hello. Welcome to the VASSAL World Cup 2021 championship game. We have AngryEwok, the number 2 seed, and RealVeers, the number 4 seed, in the from advance in the elimination stage to the final showdown here. Let's take a look at their fleets. Our first fleet up is AngryEwoks. The American is bringing Admiral Ackbar, Intel Officer, Kaken Stolen, electronic countermeasures, and slave turrets all wrapped up on a Space Potato Assault Frigate Mark II-B. That's known as the Giga Drill build. If you're interested in more about what makes this build so nasty, check out Can I Get Your Ship Out's blog or AngryEwok's YouTube channel. The video is called Ship Builds. Both discuss the Giga Drill build in detail. CR90As support that. He has two of them, one of which is Jaina's Light. Both have TRCs on them. Two GR75s, one with boosted comms, the other one has comms net. Sharabe, Taiko Selchuk, Ketsu Onyo, Harrison Dula, and two A-Wings round out the squad complement for 387 points of fleet. It's a huge bid there, 13 points. And 5 activations, 8 deployments. Hard to beat this guy strategically. You know, he's got a huge bid, so he'll be picking the battle he wants to fight. He'll out-deploy most fleets, out-activate most fleets, or at least equal them, right? And in this case, he'll equal them. So as first player, it minimizes some disadvantages you might have versus against RealVeers' fleet. So also he has enough squads to really make it a tough time for a squad heavy fleet. Also, he'll win most squad fights against smaller squad fleets, so really good way for him to secure points. And then they're also fast, so he can keep them tucked in with his ships, so that way if the opponent does dive on his squads, he can trap them within the flak zone, or shoot and keep them tucked in and shoot them out when he sees something dangling, and keep them ready to strike. So it's a really unique build. Harrison Dula complements the boosted comms GR75, so you can kind of activate all your squads with this fleet. So GR75 activates two of them, Harrison Dula activates the other two A-Wings, and then Ketsu and Hera, they both have Rogue, so they can still shoot and move as if they were activated. So I like the build. Invest into squads, but minimally. It's pretty cool build. Let's take a look as to how he got to the final game. AngryEwok had a successful campaign in the pod and Swiss stage, with only one loss, which was to RealVeers, believe it or not, in the last round of the Swiss. Talked to AngryEwok a bit, and it was because he knew if he didn't lose big, he was guaranteed a spot in the top 4. So he played to not lose big, and he lost, but it wasn't big. So he was able to still secure the second overall spot, and sure, yeah, he lost, but overall it was a successful campaign, and strategic victory there from AngryEwok. If you want more details as to what these fleets really did, check out my top 4 preview video, or even the semifinal game. I'm kind of done talking about them. Let's talk about his first elimination game though versus Truthiness, the number 3 seed. AngryEwok faced off against Truthiness in Battle of the Rebellion. Truthiness brought 3 TRC-90s with engine techs and a MC-30 Scout, I believe. Yes, Scout. And that one had turbo laser reroute circuits as well, with 104 points of squadrons. They're all rogue except Shara. And AngryEwok, even though there were some bad dice rolls at the beginning of the squad battle, was still able to overall win the squad battle, and in addition to taking out 2 of the 3 TRC-90s, Truthiness was pretty lucky to escape with the third one too. If there was a 7th round, it most likely would have died due to the amount of squad pressure it was under, or flying off the table, one of the two. So Truthiness really kind of took a rear angle, like trying to swipe off the rear in a most wanted game, and that didn't really work out well because well, his ships are fast, especially with the engine techs. Ewok's ships are pretty much just as fast, so they're able to stay at range. And Ewok did a really good job of creating a KG deployment, so Truthiness really had to dive in there, and then really, you know, got a good angle there. It's like, okay, boom, is that the you should really check out the semifinal game. I have a quick recap. Check out the Steel Strategy YouTube channel for the full video. But AngryEwok really was able to park his potato vertically with the help of a GR75 acting as a speed bump there. And pretty much just like present, here's my death arc, and Truthiness had to kind of stop outside of it. But because AngryEwok out-activated Truthiness and was second player, he really had his pick of the litter once Truthiness entered the kill box. So really well done by Ewok there, and that is how he got to the final match. Let's take a look at RealVeers. RealVeers is bringing the nastiest fleet in the land. The German has Admiral Sloane with Hondo Anaka on a Lifeboat Raider 1, with a Arcatin light cruiser supporting it with Captain Nita, TRCs, and Centaur title, which is key. Then there's also a Quasar 1 with Admiral Chernu, flight controllers, boosted comms on Squall, and then one Commsnet Gazanti and another Gazanti with Woldar on it. Woldar gives non-swarm squadrons distance 1 to 3 reroll abilities. So pretty nice to see Woldar there. You don't see him a whole lot. Supporting it is 134 points of squads. You got Merrick Steele, Colonel Jendon, Mauler Mythil, Morale Evol, and 2 Lambdas, Saber Squadron, and a TIE Phantom. That's 399 points, 5 activations, 9 deployments. So it's also really hard to strategically beat RealVeers. And what we're seeing here with this fleet is, you know, you have your typical kind of Sloane build, right? But then you have Morello Evol, which is really interesting because he doesn't benefit from Sloane, right? But the Lambdas do. The Lambdas throw that blue die, which is so critical to Sloane popping off. You know, they're pretty nice when it comes with flight controllers. You know, Squall lets them move around, and you know, if he's playing his objectives, he'll be able to activate Morello multiple times. Really efficient fleet here built by the German. What else would you expect? Yeah, it's tough to take down this fleet. It's not looking to engage. It's looking to keep things at bay. Really, if you are fighting anything, it will be the Arcatin with the Centaur title, because those Gazantis can activate squadrons from safety. You know, boosted comms will help the Quasar stay at range. But remember, they're at range, right? But they have relay on those Lambdas on Colonel Jendon. So it doesn't matter really how far away they are, because they can put the Lambdas there just at the edge of you know, activation range, and let the squads do all the fighting, you know, just out of reach in the safe spot, right? So really nasty fleet here. Let's take a look as to how RealVeers got to the advanced through the semifinals and into the final game here. So I'm going to talk about RealVeers a little more in depth, particularly his 2 losses, since that's new information I've learned. But if you're interested in the total path, you know, give a look at my top 4 preview video, give a look at the RealVeers versus Gilad Pellaeon video. Those have a little more depth of his wins and overall path. But let's talk about his losses here. So these losses actually almost ended up costing him you know, placement in the elimination stage. There's a reseed after the Swiss stage, including pod phase results, and due to those kind of weaker results, he was able to squeak in, but only in the 4th overall slot in the elimination phase. So if he did any worse in one of those battles, he would have been 5th, right? So Paul de Colonia had some experience against RealVeers. He had fought him just 2 months prior, and he played keeping it cagey was the way to go, right? Avoid engaging, because you know, RealVeers' fleet will kind of win a battle of attrition every time. So you know, you want to do that burst damage late, I guess. So that's what Paul de Colonia's strategy was to, you know, just kind of keep it cagey, keep his interceptors in a threatening position to pick off Morello, and it ended up with RealVeers flying the Centaur off the board. So, you know, RealVeers is probably, you know, trying to stay out of range of the Onager, stay out of range of the Demolishers, you know, threat area. So he probably ran on a board real estate pretty quickly with the Centaur. And then Arrhesius was, you know, he's just a phenomenal player, right? And RealVeers, you know, dangled Mauler off, and Arrhesius saw the opportunity and was able to snipe Mauler clean off the board with Rogue first last, or last first, sorry, and he was able to kind of, you know, slow the squad fight down significantly with Mauler off the board, and ended up killing the Quasar with the Liberty. So really well done there by Arrhesius. You know, he's a smart player and you can't make mistakes against him. And RealVeers was able to learn a lot, and that's really what contributed to his success in the Swiss stage, and you know, probably carried it through into the elimination games as well. So great job, RealVeers. Let's take a look at that GP matchup. Gilad Pellaeon, the #1 seed after the reseeding at the conclusion of the Swiss stage, brought Thrawn to the tournament, and he was the only Thrawn fleet in the entire tournament. Fun little fact. And while both RealVeers and Gilad Pellaeon were Imperial fleets, they were two completely different archetypes. So RealVeers, you know, brought 134 points of squadrons. GP didn't bring any. He brought a Chimera with expanded launchers, Kuat, a Demolisher, and both fleets did have Nita, Architans, Turbolaser reroute circuits, and 2 Gazantes. But that's really where the only similarities are. And how this battle took place was, you know, GP had to, you know, create a very passive deployment. Like, he couldn't really commit to either side, so he deployed the Demolisher on the right side, the Arcton on his left, and the Chimera in the middle, and the 2 Gazantes kind of between them. And RealVeers took the fight to the right side. So this ended up with the Arcton not really being too relevant. It was kind of just pressuring the Lifeboat Raider. And the Demolisher, after its first move, engine teched up to prepare itself for an attack run on the Centaur, you know, RealVeers' Architon. And this engine tech move, I think, was able to, I think is what really decided its fate, because it ended up moving into a spot where it could get pounced on by RealVeers' squadron. So he squadroned, and Morello and friends jumped on the Demolisher really quickly, and while it didn't go down right away, it was already looking pretty beat up, and even didn't take any damage at all from RealVeers' Phantom. Those were some misses, and the one hit was swiped away with Brunson. So it could have been a lot worse for the Demolisher, but it went in, right, made its attack run, right, so it did live past the end of that round, and you know, as first player, GP was able to actually commit to that attack run, and it ended up not dealing enough damage. It was a pretty unfortunate roll. He needed 1 more damage from the 5 black dice he was rolling out of the side arc there, and he could not get it. So the Arcton was able to survive, and ultimately ended up getting rammed by the Kuat. But at that point, it was a little too late for GP to really do anything, and pretty much GP's fleet went down in flames. But if he was able to get that Centaur, right, the battle would have changed, because the Centaur was kind of the funnel of which all the squadron activations go through. So those Gazantes can't activate squadrons from wherever they passively are. For instance, one of the Gazantes was way out of the battle pretty much. It was actually fighting that Raider Arcton battle going on the side there. So that I thought was pretty interesting, you know, and a pretty good strategy from GP, but it unfortunately didn't pay off for him. So if you're interested in seeing how that fight actually went down in video form, check out the Steel Strategy YouTube channel for the full length version. I have a quickened 5x version as well uploaded to my channel. So now let's take a look at the objective that was chosen. AngryEwok with his massive bid chose first player, and RealVeers' objectives were targeting beacons, fire lanes, and sensor net. Fire lanes and sensor net are pretty rough because they give those objective tokens to Proc Morello, and they offer victory points for RealVeers. So while as first player you always need to break the tie to win, those objectives make it harder because the point value you have to exceed to win increases. So targeting beacons, though it doesn't have any victory points, you know, RealVeers isn't very ship combat heavy, so it plays well into it plays better than the other two into AngryEwok's strategy, right? So that's why he ended up going with targeting beacons. Now let's take a look at the actual battle. Okay, so we have the obstacle deployment here for targeting beacons. So RealVeers is second player, you know, he set that station up in the middle, and then I guess AngryEwok put the obstacles off in the corners on his side, right? And I don't think he knows he can put the beacon tokens in his corners, I think. Anyways, so he put them there. So they're really out of the way. Really, it's kind of pointless at all that the first player sets any of these beacons because they're not going to fly anywhere really relevant for them. So, anywho, you know, they start deploying, you know, RealVeers with his very passive speed 2 deployments, with his Gazantes going parallel to the opposition, or I guess perpendicular to the opposition, parallel to his side of the board. And AngryEwok kind of sets his CR90s down at speed 3, and his GR75s at speed 2, I believe. Yeah, and then, you know, squadrons start going down as you would expect. RealVeers is a really good, you know, deployment advantage. So that's why AngryEwok is setting up, you know, kind of farther back, and you know, very passively in the middle, right? So now you see in the upper left corner that Lifeboat Raider go down at speed 2. Yeah, speed 2. At speed 2, the Raider, you know, can do that full right-hand turn. Previously, we've seen the Raider go just straight across, and then Squall and the Centaur go down at speed 2 as well. Look at this. That's one of the issues with, I guess, this fleet design really is the fact it can stay, you know, completely non-engaged, right? The Potato is at speed 2, I believe, as well. So heads up in the middle. I did not declare that, but really what it can do is just it stays, you know, it doesn't want to engage at all with the ships, right? So it just deploys passively. It really is just really hard to play though, you know, because you do run out of board quickly with this fleet design. He could have maybe even pushed it back more aligned with the other Gazanti, but you know, I'm sure in his experience that might have been bad or something. So we kick things off at round 1 here with Jaina's Dark. This is just a CR90 with turbo laser rear out circuits, going with a navigate and taking a token. So, you know, he's already kind of got the idea here. I'm going to run him into the corner. So you can really kind of see, like, okay, you know, he's going this way, I have to go this way. I can't fly at him straight on because otherwise he'll toilet bowl me. I have to head off the snake. And you'll really see it here with you know, as he sets everything up. So really they start pushing forward. So this Gazanti gives a squadron token to the Squall, and he moves up like that. Jaina's Light uses a navigate command. It didn't speed up. It did say speed 2, but I think he used it yaw at that slot there. So, oh no, it stayed speed 3. That's right, they were at speed 3. So it did use that double yaw at the speed 2 joint to make an inside turn, right? And here we go. The Space Potato, the Doniger, as he has it so lovingly called it, has used his dial and overlapped Harrison Tula there. Now Squall is activating, and here we get our first bit of token shenanigans. So Morello gets to move around, and you know he's already started shuffling that token, getting it prepped and primed for attacking the opposition there. And Squall moves 2 forward. So he gives rogues to the 2 A-wings he indicates with range bands, really. I think there's only 2 he can give it to on the right there, so... I forget which one's Tycho and which one's Shara, but doesn't really matter too much, because I'm sure we'll find out soon. Start shuffling everything around, and it really saves those rogue A-wings for last, just in case RealVeers dangle something, right? Look at that threat range on those A-wings. So, anywho, the squadron starts shuffling around. I do apologize for the Steam notifications. I thought I had those turned off. And really, you can see that Morello is what the strategy of this fleet is. You know, it's Morello and everyone else. No, it can't. The role of Merrick Steele and Colonel Jenden can't be understated as well. They're both very crucial squads. You know, Colonel Jenden effectively lets anyone have a Morello, or half a Morello activation. Really, you know, you just get to shoot, you don't get to move. And it's also at the cost of his attack. That's the difference between Morello and a Lambda. This is the first of AngryEwok's misfortunes with the keyboard commands. I personally would never trust a keyboard command in Vassal. I'm just not good enough at Vassal to really even know the keyboard commands. But quite frankly, I've just seen enough glitches in Vassal to avoid it, but or just to be wary of it. That man there threw a concentrate fire token and comms netted it over. That man there being Gazanti with comms net. And Waldar has navigate command, and he navigates with speed 3 to zoom up. Looks like RealVeers accidentally set up the setup instead of the set button. That's pretty funny. And we have me talking about shenanigans here with my mouse. So Jaina's Dark reveals a navigate command, and he really has kind of 2 options here what to do. You know, he can kind of go hard to the left, right? So he's really he's really kind of eyeing this, like, do I kind of chase down this Quasar and kind of force it into the corner, or do I kind of hook everything and trail? And he decides to trail, right? And I'm not sure if you know, that was the right decision. At least, you know, you'll see why in the upcoming turn. But you know, it's not a bad spot for it to be, right? You can kind of just conga line your way and shepherd the 2 shifts here that really matter into the corner. So Jaina's Light had a navigate command and moved. Arcton moves with a navigate command. It's a Centaur. The Potato gets pushed around an accident. This is how easy it is to click and drag without meaning to. The ship moves like that. So now now they're both kind of parallel with each other, funnily enough. And this is you know, kind of where the squadron posturing begins. Like, does he dive in with his tokens here? Does Morello activate? And I think he can get the the potato, right? But no, he's just pushing the token more off to the side. You know, he's prepping Morello as his primary fighter, right? He's the initiator. He's the dive bomber. Um, he's really just prepping that and just pushing it off to the side. And Squall actually moves, and it had a squadron dial that it decided not to use, right? Not a whole lot lost, actually. You know, you might as well just queue up the squadron. AngryEwok is playing for the long con, and you can tell here during the squadron phase when he's shuffling his squadrons around his back. Now, I think what he should have done is maybe held them closer to his ships. Put him in the front arc here. Put him in the front arc of the potato. Put side arc of the GR75. Sort of the side arc of the potato, right? Just put him somewhere where you'll actually have some good coverage with it. Maybe off to the left, right? I'm not really sure, where. AngryEwok's the pro pilot, but I think he should have been a little more careful with his squadron positioning, because Harrison Dula does kind of leave some of the A-wings out to dry here, so they're kind of lost without the rogue. And really, he can just get closer as well. That's the other thing. Harrison Dula isn't the fastest flyer out there. She's tanky enough. I mean, she can't take a beating, but she's tanky enough, right? Where if they alpha her, she won't get a whole lot. They won't get a whole lot else, really. She's a lot of points though. She's more than either of those GR75s in points, but she's slow, and she's gonna have a tough time flying. So no Hondo once more, and here we have AngryEwok flipping over the boosted comms Gazanti, or GR75, I apologize, and that Gazanti used the navigate command and did a jank little inside turn to even itself out. Quite expertly done by RealVeers. Now this is Jaina's light or dark going in. Now you see here it went in, right? It went in like this. I don't think that Arcton had a shot on it, but it decided to make a turn in like that. And I think if he was making a turn in at all, he maybe should have turned into the left earlier. That he has now dangled effectively his CR90, and it's in a risky position. I do believe it is out of range of everything. Ooh, no, not the rear arc, but I don't even think he takes a shot. But only the back. Boom, that was a hit. Invades, and that comes into play because now it's already got an exhausted defense token. RealVeers has no intention of spending his own evade. Right. Now Jaina's light here tries to get a little tricky. It's using a navigate command dial, and it doesn't have a token or anything, and it tries to go speed 3 and fails. Ends up bumping the GR75, and I don't think that's what he wanted to do. It might have been what he wanted to do. Actually, not looking at it, he didn't want to throw everything out. But really, I think that's just him. He didn't really have his squads prepped. Well, I think, like, hey, if he's trying to get his GR75, or sorry, his Jaina's light out there, right, he's got to kind of push his squads up a little more aggressively just to kind of cover it, I guess. So Mauler Mythal, I think that's who it was, activated and attacked Jaina's light, and AngryEwok sees this as the moment of opportunity and dives in. He was kind of, or Jaina's dark, I apologize. Jaina's dark, that's the blue indicated CR90. He does dive in there with one singular squad and overlaps Shard Bay. So he's trying to protect Jaina's Dark. He sees, oh crap, I left this as an opening here. He's trying to dive in to protect it, right? So now Squall activates and like, okay, great, our first catch of the day, and Raylan got deleted there. Somehow gets no damage and no damage in return. That was pretty funny, but RealVeers does have 5 squadrons with Squall. He's getting those Lambda activations. Boom, boom. Lambda shoots. Boom. Down to 1 hull there on the A-wing. The next Lambda comes in. RealVeers shoots, misses. And then shoots the, I guess they kill the A-wing, but, sorry, I'm trying to watch the dice here. It's a lot of dice being thrown because there's a lot of activations going on. So, this kind of starts burning everything out, so there goes the redirect. You know, both evades are on red. Now, not looking great for Jaina's Dark here. Quickly got jumped on by the Imperial squadrons here. Had a fairly meaningless critical effect. I don't recall that being very important. Injured crew. I don't recall off the top of my head what that one does. But you know, so now here comes the counter alpha, right? Merrick Steel goes down to 5 HP. Now I think he maybe should have targeted the lambdas in this case. You know, by clearing out a lambda, you actually get rid of 2 activations. 3 technically. You know, you have the lambda's activation, you have the Squall activation of the lambda, or you have the Morello. So you have Squall pushing the lambda around and activating Morello. So that's, you know, Morello's activation. And then when the lambda actually moves due to its activation, Morello activates, you know, as well. So that's 3 activations. 2 of them are Morello. If you kill the lambda, it's quite effective. Then again, you're never going wrong with Merrick Steel. He's a lot of points, 22. But I think the lambdas are a little easier to chew through. You know, there's the same amount of hull, but no defense tokens. But again, he's the better player than me, so he's gotten this far. He's gotten to the championship. I'm not gonna question really, you know, what he's done too much. So you know, here comes Tycho. Harrison Dula did a good job, and Hera did have the lambda in range. That lambda, I believe, is at 4 HP. I can't really tell with. I'm recording off of the preview little thing in my video editing software. Anywho, the boosted comms GR75 moves up. Don't really have a whole lot of room to go. You know, with 5 ships, AngryEwok's kind of running out of board. I would have maybe liked to see him have a navigate token or something banked, you know, just kind of slow it down and you know, keep it trailing. And it does come into play a little bit here, because now this thing is dangling as well. Morales tucked out there, nice. Mauler Mythal activated. Sloane the Scatter off of, God, is that Tycho? Yep. And then, Tycho goes down. here is just Harris and Dula. And Sloane eventually does get Hera's brace down, and she just gets melted off the board. 55 points now for RealVeers at the end of this Squall activation, right? So RealVeers has taken Hera, one A-Wing, and Tycho Selchuk. So 3 squadrons remain versus, RealVeers' Juicy Fleet squadrons, really. And he starts bumping things around. And notice Merrick Steele at 1 hull there. I do want to point that out. There's 72 points up there. I'm not exactly sure how the math works out, but I don't know. So Ewok has a power outage in the middle of the game here. So really what you can see here is that round 4, we haven't had a single ship-to-ship shot yet. RealVeers has kind of like shuffled his way to the back of his deployment area, right? And maybe like he has the one Gazanti on the far left side that's out of range of the deployment area, but everything else is still in his deployment area, really. That Arcton is maybe leaving the side of the deployment area, but still, like, that's still distance 3 within distance 3 of his player side. Like, it's just a wee bit annoying. I think Armada could easily be played on a 3x4 board just fine. Obstacles will matter a lot more. Interdictors would be very happy with that decision, right? But I think that 3x6 is quite a lot, and while it does offer a dynamic to the game, at 400 points, you're primarily just fighting in a small section of the board. In my experience, you're maybe using two-thirds of it. So I think that's maybe that's because people are afraid to use the the edges. I don't want to get caught in the corner. But I think personally, if you're able to catch someone in the corner, kudos to you, right? I don't know. So it'll also just make the game more entry level friendly for tabletop players, right? Like, oh hey, I picked up the core set for the Galactic Civil War. Anyways, I digress. AngryEwok had some technical issues, but he's back at it, I think, and Shara base. That's what 72 points was. Shara Bay got deleted off the board as well. So now he's just down to Ketsu Onyo on that the tankiest squad around, and A-Wing. So with these fine flyers coming up, Ketsu comes up, does a lot of damage to Morello, but Morello has a Bright token still active, as at 1 HP. And he shoots Morello and actually gets him off the board. Big kudos to Ewok, that was a big win, 22 points, but really, it's more of just the damage output, so that worked out well. Right, Morello is at 22. There's only 22 points, but really, when you look at it, Veers has spent a lot of points into making Morello work and making him the workhorse. And his the fact he's gone, it really kind of neutralizes a good amount of points from Morello. So Chirinu is primarily there for getting the Lambda squadrons to activate, right? Jane's Light shoots up to speed 4 here. This proves important as well. And with the navigate dial. And here comes the Raider sliding on through. You know, he's got a navigate dial. This is Sloane and Hondo Wanaka chilling out together. There are only 2 people on this Raider. It's a pretty empty boat. Lands on the station, you know, obstructs the shot, because that's Jaina's dark, not Jaina's light. So I think it is at medium, and actually doesn't have an obstruction. So he gets both dice here on the rear. And uses an Ackbar to get the 2 extra red. And was able to get some damage to stick there. But, you know, it's a Raider. It's tough. It's a tough cookie to crack with just a couple pot shots, right? So he slides up in here. You know, he's like, okay, I'm going to circle around. I'm going to try to peel off and get out of the danger zone from these scary squadrons. And what we're seeing here is an Arcatin. Activate here. Oop. Uses a navigate command and doesn't really use it for speed, just uses it to even get more vertical distance away from Jaina's light and the space potato, the scary Giga Drill. He's just trying to run. But he's running out of board. But remember, there's still two turns left of movement, really, for RealVeers. So, you know, you can probably make something happen, you know, if by slowing to speed 1 or something, right? So, he still has plenty of room left, even though he is running out of board. Again, so if he deployed a little bit further to our left here, he may have not have had as much of an issue with running out of board. I don't think he was really concerned with it at all, but you know, it has happened to him before, actually. Pulled a Colonia, one of the matchups with him. Both are Germans. He did run his Arcatin off the board, I guess, but right now, the Centaur's not doing a whole lot in terms of squadron activations right now. So Jaina's Dark runs away, and it doesn't have any front shields or defense tokens. And the Phantom gets 2 damage to stick, unlike any damage. It didn't deal any damage against Gilad Pellaeon at all, really. And it maybe dealt like 1 or 2 at the end when the game was pretty much all said and done. But when it was important, when it mattered most, it didn't have anything. And Ewok scores another 21 points off Merrick Steele there by sniping the TIE Defender Ace when he wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it. I thought that was a sick move. You know, he's like, aha. So you know, shades of Return of the Jedi there when the A-Wing crashes into the bridge, right? Pretty much the same thing, right? Merrick Steele. So now we're looking at a 29 point game. I can do math. And it's really getting interesting here. And that Saber Squadron that shot the rear, no, it shot. No, they're shooting. They're shooting the A-Wing here. RealVeers has damage card issues. So, not only did GP have damage card issues, RealVeers as well. GP had damage card issues in his semifinal game. So, I wanted to see something here regarding Jaina's Light, so I do apologize. Not Jaina's Light. Are you kidding me? Alright, so, anyways, Jaina's Dark continues to get shot, and it's not looking great. Colonel Jendon. Accuracy is the scatter for the Lambda, or for the GR75. And the GR75 is double arced here. Or maybe it didn't have cardboard. I don't know, I don't remember. But it does take 2. I'm kind of surprised he didn't at least try to evade 1. I guess only 25% chance. And didn't want the crit, maybe. I don't know. Maybe burn the scatter? I don't know. Anywho, it doesn't matter enough because, evade, get rid of it. That's sad. He had the evade. I guess maybe it was low on hull because it did some ramming. Anywho, so 83 points now for RealVeers. Like I said, if he was able to get that navigate command in with the GR75 and had it trail a little more, I would not have been nearly as exposed. I would not have been in the kill box for either of those ships. It was double arced by the Arcton, arced by the Quasar, right? So now this is really what we're looking for is round 6 here. In round 6, this is the finals, right? Big shot coming in here from Ketsu, unable to get the kill in on the TIE Phantom, and Jaina's Dark almost escapes. But this is some slick movement here. He is able to get Jendon in range of the Phantom, crazily enough. And he's really going hard here on Ketsu because he's trying to kill Ketsu. So, gets rid of the scatter. Ketsu's at 1 hull. Jendon double taps and activates and nukes that off. Now the Phantom can go in and gets the 1 damage it needs to get Ewok, or to get Jaina's Light off the board in favor of RealVeers, right? So Ewok really had a huge swing there. It was like 60-something points when he, because Ketsu missed the initial shot on that Phantom actually on turn 5, and so on turn 6 when it activated, or she activated, Ketsu missed early and didn't have enough damage really to help finish it off. And big shot coming in here from the Space Potato. Just look how much red dice that is. That's crazy. I had to drag it over. Goes down to 1 hull and bumps Jaina's Light. Lambda activates and moves the token over just to give them the targeting beacon ability. So he almost flies the Jaina's Light off the board. This is a pretty good example of fair play, and I want you all to take note. So Ewok, like I said before, he was using the keyboard commands to dial in his stuff, and he used the wrong keyboard command, it looks like. Giving him the benefit of doubt. Happened already in the very beginning of the game, when it didn't matter, and it's happened again here. At the end, he meant to dial in Concentrate Fire on Jaina's Dark, and instead dialed it in on Jaina's Light, and he navigated RAM, and I think that's all she wrote here. So this was a really close game. Unlike Ewok, I know he practiced his ass off trying to get this, get a better result than this. But really, what he would have changed about how the game was played was he would not have flown his Jaina's Dark up in there and into the middle. So that's really what went wrong for him. So do take the end of game interview a look. That was in the actual upload of the full length video. Otherwise, I'm signing off. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.